Welcome to the artwork of CP, everyone. And for those of you that don't know, I landed up actually, back up here, the day after my birthday, which would have been 33, the day after I turned 33, I was emotionally and physically abused. And for those of you that haven't heard that episode, Danielle and I did a public episode after my case was closed and after it was reported to the state of Colorado. And now looking back on it, I want to do a reflection of what we called it at the time. So we named the episode It. So that's why you will hear us referring to it as it being what it was. So we named the episode It because it was so significant in not only my life, but every single person around me. Geez, they had to deal with it as much as I did. And that's what happens when the abuse victim has to deal with it. Not only do the family members have to deal with it, the friends have to deal with it as well. It's a ongoing cycle that is a circle that I'm actually now trying to break 3 years later because it happened. It will never happen then. If and today you got us gone on a truth. My abuser is my godmother, and she's still in the Bahamas. And I've been asked, well, did she move to the Bahamas because she didn't want to be reported? And the answer is no. The answer is no. She lives down there all her life with my mom and with other family members as well. And so, no, she did not move out of the country because of the emotional and physical abuse towards me. She was out of the country anyway. And what happened was that she came into my house not thinking to, well, I shouldn't say not thinking. I did not think that that was going to happen. Of course, anyone never does think that's going to happen. So 3 years later, I am slowly but surely going to break the circle. I'm just about ready to break the cycle under that circle. And I'm just about ready to apologize to her. And I am going to forgive my abuser if she calls me on my birthday, which apparently now she wants nothing to do with me, which on that is fine too. And so if she calls me on my 35th birthday and says happy birthday or is in the room, I will apologize to her with witnesses. I will say I forgive you. I won't say I forget what happened, but I'm ready to forgive my abuser because she knows that I'm the witness to my abuse. One out of how many witnesses did I have? 4 witnesses. The main one said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we had a difficult year. And that is why we are now talking. I was allowed to speak to her by the state of Colorado. I was allowed to speak to the witness by the state of Colorado. They still don't want me, nor do I want to, speak to my abuser, but I am ready to forgive my abuser to a extent. I won't forget it, but I am ready to say I forgive you, which is a huge step for most emotional and physical abuse survivors to forgive the abuser. And yes, if she calls me with witnesses in the room, I will say, I forgive you for what you did on June 23rd, and I won't forget it. And then if we go further, I will say you're not welcome in my house, but at least it's a start. At least it's a start. And now looking back on it, I was, and I call myself dumb and dumb. I was a dumb and dumb because I thought, oh, this is just a family member. And dumb and dumb me didn't think um, didn't think that you could say get out of my house. Well, dumb and dumb me learned after this, you can say get out of my house for anyone that's threatening or anyone that's hurting you. And so myself and Danielle, as two disabled women, really have to be looking out for our safety. And I'm conscious of that now. And so I have learned a lot from sharing my story, and I am working on a project in conjunction with someone else. Danielle doesn't even know this, but I'm working on a project with someone else, and I'll leave it at that until it gets finalized and until the project gets completed. And so the person asked me, quite frankly, do you feel comfortable speaking about it on camera? Do you feel comfortable speaking about your abuse on camera? Do you feel comfortable speaking about what happened to you on June 23rd? And I said I do. I said I do, to a brand new audience, that doesn't know my story, that doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. And so the reason why I say I do is because and you don't think I'm crazy, but the day before the emotional and physical abuse happened, I was with my abuser and her sister picking out a laptop, which my uncle was going to give me. And I didn't know that I did not know that she was going, after giving me over $1,000 Mac laptop. I did not know that she was going to turn her head. I thought this was going to be a nice healing trip. Well, healing trip it landed up not being. And so out of the four witnesses, one has already apologized to me. I'm waiting for I've been waiting for my abuser to apologize. I'm also waiting for my stepmom to say what I did was wrong. I'm also waiting for the woman that calls herself my stepmom to say, look, I am proud of you for moving. I am proud of you for living on your own with a roommate. And I apologize to you for doing something extremely wrong. You do not say to a victim of emotional abuse, and this is why I hate the word, and people know it, that I hate the word okay. You do not say, as the abuse victim is going out the door, climbing out the window to safety, or in my case, person says in your arms, you don't say it's okay. You let them burst into tears in the arms and then deal with the consequences after, which I was dealing with the consequences 1 week after. So I knew, me being me and me being a mandatory reporter, and basically what that is, and my aides, even though my aides tried to do it again, my aides are actually mandatory reporters. And so what that is if you're in a job where, especially in education, where it requires kids or adults or disabled, then you become a mandatory reporter. I have several mandatory reporters in my life and down here too. And so I would think my lawyer would be a mandatory reporter if I told her, yeah, I would think my lawyer would be a mandatory reporter too. And so what that is you could get in big trouble if you saw a kid not looking right and not acting right, and not do anything about it. It's like those YouTube videos. What would you do? And so the problem with mandatory reporters is they don't people don't think that, well, people don't necessarily think that I'm a mandatory reporter. I will always be a mandatory reporter. So people never thought about me being a mandatory reporter. And they didn't know that, and so are counselors, by the way. Counselors are mandatory reporters. So so basically what happened is I reported it. I, as a mandatory reporter, reported it to another mandatory reporter. She reported it to Adult Protective Services. Anyone can call Adult Protective Services to report anyone if they see something suspicious. And I almost had to do it on one of my aides, but it didn't get to that point, thank God. But I know now that being a mandatory reporter has its good things and its bad things. And then, but if my abuser, and people know this, if my abuser ever shows up at my house, I am calling the cops. The cops down here, they are smart enough. The cops down here being the Arizona, because I think her record, well, her record is definitely in Colorado, but I think cops down here, I need to find out, and I'll let you guys know. I need to find that out from one of my resources, Can Cop, in a totally different state, see a person was arrested from Colorado. I need to find that out. I will let you guys know because basically what landed up happening is that I am very careful on what I tell my aunt, what I tell the witness to my abuse, and basically what I tell my aides now. I'm very careful, and that's another whole story and stuff. But basically, because I have so many mandatory reporters in my life, uh, I don't think that it is or was going to happen again. I am 99% sure that it's not going to happen again, nor will my previous abuser show up wanting to see my house. Now, my cousin showed up, um, and my personal assistant walked out the door. She went to the movies. I didn't want, because my cousin went haywire on me down here. I said to my personal assistant, meet me at the bottom of the houseway. I didn't want this haywire person because she was drunk. Let's be honest, she was drunk. And I didn't want this haywire person to come into my house, ask my assistant questions, and go on and on and on. And so it was interesting that my family has been to Arizona, but yet they want stuff. They don't want to help me. They would rather have my team help me, which I've accepted. I completely accept it. It's taken a while for me to accept it. I'm finally, with the mental health work I'm doing, I'm finally coming to the realization that I have chosen family members, and I have admitted that, and I have just admitted that publicly that I have chosen family members that will be, if anything were to happen, my chosen family members would be here in 2 seconds flat, banging down the door. And so, and I also have, yes, you too. And yes, Danielle just pointed to herself because she is, she understands CP more than she understands me more than people think she does, and she definitely understands CP because she lives with it too. So, and I also have an extended family of what I like to call Lunazil. Lunazil, because at the end of the day, we sat in a meeting yesterday about care for all of us too. And at the end of the day, it's not necessarily going to be the aides taking care of us. It's going to be the whole family of the Lunazil taking care of us. I mean, it's going to be my friends slash Lunazil taking care of me because aides can only do so much. And aides, I've come to realize that aides under agencies can only do so much, but we're trying. And people have said to me that your health had I've noticed an improvement in your mental state. I've noticed an improvement in your physical health. And my response is when you pull the stress out of your life, the stress of grief, trauma, back to back, you have a chance to breathe. I mean, in 2019, and then Yale knows this because she saw it day one. I didn't have a chance to breathe. I was swimming upstream, and in 2020, we all didn't have a chance to breathe due to the world pandemic. Thank you very much. So when you think about it, giving yourself a chance to breathe helps and improves your health and improves your overall standards and your overall outlook on life. So basically, what's going to happen, and as I told Danielle, and we're going to do Danielle and I are going to sit down over coffee or ice cream. I haven't decided which yet, but Danielle and I are going to sit down and I'm going to take notes and via speech dictation, and we're going to hash out what this podcast is going to be. Because what I'm thinking is after, and I meant to give you guys a debrief, but after podcast movement, I am slowly but surely giving up my interview show and just educating people about disabilities with main focus on being cerebral palsy, with the main focus on cerebral palsy. But I'm going to start opening up the doors to different disabilities. I mean, I can interview autism in my own backyard, Angelman syndrome in my own backyard, and Prader-Willi syndrome in my own backyard. And if someone wants to interview me, they can interview CP in my own backyard too. But basically, what I'm going to do, what Danielle and I have discussed, and we'll go deeper into this when we see each other. Thank you very much. When we see each other in July, Danielle and I have decided to open up the outlook of CP to all disability awareness, Blacks, colored people and whites alike, because what I'm noticing is that all people struggle with their own disabilities, and the hardest part right now is getting the aids. The hardest part right now is just getting the aids, getting people to become aids. So for those of you who are listening, and then I'm going to let Danielle tie us up here. For those of you who are listening, if you're still looking for a job, consider wherever you are, because this is happening all across the country. I know this because I'm talking to people all across the country, and this is happening in Florida. This is happening all across the country. Consider, please, 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 please consider becoming someone's aid, because we're dealing with, not only are we dealing with a shortage of staff everywhere, we're dealing with a shortage of aids. And so I give you an example. I need help. I need help, and it's not going to be a pitiful win party over here. I'm just stating the facts that I need help, and at the same time, I have aids shifting. So therefore, the demand is more out there than you guys think. And I would appreciate if you guys would look up in your local areas, wherever you are, even Canada too, how to become an aide, because the more aides we have out there, the better we can make this world a better place. And with that, I'll let Danielle tie us up.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, yeah,
Thank you for following us, you guys. And all next week we'll probably do a yeah, next week being that we'll probably do a update on those of you who are on the iOS site, which is the Mac side. We're going to do a debrief on that. And I'm also going to give you some on that. And I'm also going to share a little bit of my medical journey with you guys, because I happen to be giving myself right before my birthday the gifts of health by making sure my brain is okay, still okay. I think it's still okay, but I'm actually going to see a neurologist because I wanted to make sure it's okay. I want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can for my, not only my soul, but not only my whole body, but the brain. Because if I, due to CT, at first the brain got a little screwed up. Let's just face it, the brain got big screwed up. So I'll be giving you an update on what they say about that, because it's always fun as an adult to go through the stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully my brain is okay. And the good news is I'm doing everything I can, but I know there's more that I can do. And now that I have the access to amazing medical care, I might as well take advantage of it. And it's all about preventive care. And so with that, we'll see you next week in iOS and health journey, and we'll tie it into how iOS can help with health journeys, not necessarily the brain, but they can certainly help with heart, and we can tie it in. So that's how we're doing it. And we will catch you guys next week. Bye, you guys.
bye.